It's the Tuck and Tuck Show, brought to you by the Arb at Tappan Square, Prestige Detailing, Oberlin Weekly, Now let's welcome the hosts of Tuck and Tuck Show, Ahmad and Khalid.
Well, what's up, Oberlin? We've had a long vacation. Actually, I'm glad we got one because I needed it. Been over, 2 weeks, a week? How long have we been off?
Yeah, about 2 weeks.
2 weeks? Welcome back to the Tuck and Tuck Show. We got a couple people coming in a little later. We'll introduce them when they get here. What's been going on with you, man?
Nothing, man. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad it's over with Christmas. I don't really care for New Year's. Buckeyes lost on New Year's Day.
On my birthday, they lost, man.
So that was heartbreaking. I didn't even get to see the ball drop because I was watching the Buckeyes. I watched the kicker miss the kick probably at the same time the ball dropped. So that was not a good way to start the year off. And then today is Sunday. The Browns, they lose the season-ending game against Pittsburgh, which is normal.
Of course they did. They didn't look good, but life goes on. That's the way it is in football. But playoffs will start next week. Other than that, there's not a lot going on. But I did enjoy Christmas. What about you? Oh, yeah, I had a good time, man. Had some good food, played some games with the relatives, some crazy games that I don't usually play. Cavaliers are still winning. They're still looking good.
They're not looking too bad. Mitchell had 71 the one night. It was the same night that the young man from Buffalo got injured, DeMar Hamlin.
Yeah.
So it was kind of overshadowed by the whole injury. And as of today, though, they said he's doing a lot better. They said he's up and he's off the vent and he's talking and doing meetings and all kinds of Zoom meetings from the hospital.
Pulled the tube out of him and everything. So that was big.
That was kind of scary when you seen that on, people come out on the field with the ambulance. Usually if you see a concussion or a guy put his thumb up, but when they have to bring out a defibrillator and do CPR and all that, and if they didn't act fast, he might not have made it.
Yeah, he wouldn't have made it.
So, but luckily he's doing great.
Yeah, go out, take a CPR class. I just finished mine on Friday, so it's a good thing to know, man. We've saved a lot of people up at the college.
Yeah.
We got like 4 people that we've saved and defibbed, so it's a good thing to know. If you don't know it, go learn it, or at least look on YouTube, have some idea of it, because it's a big thing.
So when you do CPR, when you go to the class, do they give you like plastic to put over people's mouths?
Yeah, you got a whole mouthpiece that goes over the mouth and the nose and everything, then you have a breathing tube that goes inside that piece.
All right. So if you don't have that, would you still give people CPR?
Yeah, well, the important thing is keep the blood flowing through the body. So the compression is a big thing. They don't even, if you can't do the breaths, they don't even really worry about it. They want you to do the breaths. It's only 2 breaths after every 30 cycles. So, I mean, if you don't have anything else, give them the CPR. You want to keep that heart blood moving through the body. That's the big thing till the machine gets there, if you have one. If not, at least till the ambulance gets there.
Yeah, but most people, from what I was told, the defibrillator is the big thing.
Oh, yeah.
If you can get that on
them. If you can get the shock on them.
Shock them back. That'll wait. They said that normally works way better than the CPR.
Yeah, CPR is not going to jumpstart the heart. It's just to keep the blood flowing through the brain and the other parts of the body. Once that blood stops flowing, even if you get a jump and it comes back and your heart rhythm comes back, you are like, your brain could be messed up.
Yeah.
You got to have a lot of other dysfunctions in the body. So,
yeah, I've had lots of times where my brain didn't get oxygen, but that didn't affect me though.
That was from alcohol.
That was not from alcohol.
That's a little different.
It doesn't
work when you're drunk.
When I had when I ate that fish accidentally and I had to be on the vent, that was bad too. But I mean, I'm still smarter than most people I know, so it doesn't really matter.
Hey man, we just got back and already he's starting with me. Can I go and I think we ought to start this segment over and take that out. I don't know because He's New Year and he's already wound up.
It's the new year. I'm excited about the new show. I mean, today we're going to be talking about wine, but you can't.
Your favorite, huh?
You
alcohol.
Can't get mad, like I said, alcohol. Get mad about wine.
We ended on alcohol, the maple that you really didn't care for that Matt bought us for Christmas, and then you get wine when you come back. No wonder why you're all pumped up.
Did you take that stuff home and drink any of it?
Yeah, I still got it at home. It's good in coffee, man. It's real good.
Maybe,
in coffee.
Yeah, because like a sweetener.
It's real. It's real good in the coffee.
Yeah. Shoot. Other than that, there's not a lot. I don't know what's going on in the city after all the parades are over with and all the Christmas is over with. There's not a whole lot going on. I seen at the Oberlin basketball game, there was a lot of former Oberlin players that came on the court, but the game was in Elyria.
Oh, yeah.
I know Coach Walsh was out there, and I think he had hip replacement surgery or something like that. But I just don't understand why they would do that in Elyria instead of Oberlin. Yeah. That didn't make sense to me because if you do it in Oberlin, you get a bigger turnout, and it's just everybody will probably show up. So I still would like to do something with all those guys that played in '86. Hopefully we can do that as the final show before the summer if we can get most of them together. That would be great.
We may have to actually do it in the summer, just have a special show.
Right.
It's hard to get them back. Everybody's working and everything. People come back in the summertime, especially for the basketball game.
Right. So, also, Matt made some shirts. I don't know if you can see them. He made some shirts.
Tuck and Tuck podcast, established 2021.
Yeah, he said we got to pay for them.
I know.
We don't even get free shirts on the show.
He wanted me to wear mine, but I said, man, without a stipend of some kind, I can't put it on.
Dude,
you already sold out, man. Your contract's done.
Hey,
You're
man.
through, dude. You're already done, man.
I will sell out quicker than anybody you know.
I'm waiting on my money before I put mine on. It looks a little tight, too, man.
It is a little tight.
Is that a 2X?
I don't know, man.
It'll never work once you throw it through the washing machine and dryer.
It's going to shrink up all small. Don't look like I'm working security for the show. So
just make sure you don't put it in no hot water.
Hot water and hang it up. Yeah. I can't dry it or nothing. Don't dry it.
It'll be done.
Well, stuff from Matt. I mean,
he got those 3 for $10 shirts.
Yeah, I'm sure he didn't spend a lot of money on them, and they're kind of glittery.
Yeah,
like mine could a certain light it changes colors. It feels kind of fruity up in here.
Don't say it, man.
I don't know what's going on.
You're already on probation.
Well, I'm always in trouble no matter where I'm at the show, at work. It doesn't matter. But yeah, Matt got one with glitter on it. His is glitter.
This is all sparkly.
Yeah, it looks like a solid gold dancer from back in the old days.
Yeah, his wife better keep an eye on
him. He shaved his face off,
He could be creeping out.
Yeah, he shaved his mustache off. He looks kind of weird over there, but...
All right.
He said to wrap it up because he don't want us to talk about it no more.
It's time to wrap it up anyway.
We'll be back with wine experts. So we'll learn all about wine today and
their shop and where they're at.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Hi, welcome to the Arb. Thank you. Have a great day. Come again.
Welcome back to the Tuck and Tuck Show. Today's guest is brought to you by the Arb at Tappan Square.
Hey, welcome back to the Tuck and Tuck Show. We are here with our guests, Eastman Presser and Joe Waltzer. They are owners, operators. What else can I put in there?
I'm the owner.
Entrepreneurs of the wine bar, which is actually Black River Cafe, used to be. Now it's a wine bar, and I'm sure at some point it's going to be more food and other things coming along. How you guys doing, man? Have a good New Year? Got a baby?
I got a baby. I'm doing wonderfully.
Doing wonderfully?
I don't have a baby and I'm doing wonderful.
Sometimes it's better without the baby.
Yeah, maybe.
So how did you guys get started in this?
So I originally, I graduated Oberlin in '98 college, and I opened up Black River Cafe as a breakfast, lunch, dinner restaurant. And I ran that until 16. I sold it. The guy I sold to didn't end up working out. Abandoned the space, so I got it back. So I'm kind of easing my way back into it with a wine bar / wine shop.
Okay.
And kind of that's the starting point, and then I'm going to be adding food and doing some other things in the future as well.
What kind of food do you think about? Just sandwiches or?
I'm kind of having a little bit of
Dinner
an
menus?
internal debate about that, but mostly kind of smaller plate, tapas kind of dinner stuff.
Okay.
Evening fare. Probably do some burgers and.
I mean, Black
smaller
River
plates
was
and whatnot.
great for breakfast and stuff, and then poof, man, I was like, what happened? I thought the business was booming.
There might be a time where I revisit breakfast there as well. But.
Yeah, breakfast is always good for the students.
Breakfast and wine is tough.
I never had wine with breakfast. I'll have to give that one a try.
It's a tougher pairing, I think.
Yeah.
Than some of the other things.
What would be a pairing with a good breakfast?
Champagne,
mimosa.
It goes with anything.
Yeah, mimosa.
It's tough because you kind of need salt and acid and fat to pair with stuff, and a lot of eggs is kind of just
out there.
Yeah, it's hard to pair wines with eggs, I'd say.
Yeah.
And we have a full liquor license, so we can do Bloody Marys.
There you go.
Oh,
and you're doing a little bit of food now. It's not like there's nothing.
Yeah,
there's
like cheese boards and charcuterie.
So you can actually serve all alcohol.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
We sell beer and wine to go, but liquor we have on premise.
Oh, I didn't know that. See, I thought it was just wine. And I was thinking to myself, how are they going to just sell wine in Oberlin? We got a lot of people who drink other stuff besides wine.
We have soda and coffee and tea and non-alcoholic options as well. Well, my plan kind of was to keep the fall as simple as possible since I had a child. I didn't want to work too much. So
do you have to know a lot about wine in order to sell them, or do you just go out there and start selling?
In order to sell it, I think, yeah. But it's important for me to say that you don't need to know much about wine to drink it. I mean, I think that is a kind of a misconception that I think people think you got to know all kinds of stuff about wine in order to enjoy it. It's what you
like. If you taste it, you don't like it, you try another wine.
And it's that kind of thing where it's always fun to learn more, or it might be fun to learn more. I really devoted my life to it, as did Joe in a lot of ways. And so I think that we really like to nerd out about this stuff and argue about it and kind of go back and forth and learn as much as we can about wine. But there's no reason. We're doing that so you don't have to. In a way, you know what I mean? So that when someone comes into Black River, we can kind of talk to them about the wine that they might like, or, help advise them. But it's not necessary that they learn all the specific grape types and regions and appellations and, all this kind of stuff that we waste our time, learning about.
Looking up and studying.
Exactly, yeah.
So did you go to school for learn about wines, or you just picked it up along the way?
No, I went to Oberlin. I studied music at Oberlin. But I started working at Black River back in about 2013, 2014. And that was when I started kind of learning about cocktails and wine under Joe. I mean, Joe kind of taught me about that sort of stuff. So that's where I started out.
All right, that sounds pretty interesting. So if I walk in and I order, say, a steak, that's red wine?
Interesting.
He looked back like, oh my God, no.
He's been watching TV.
Yeah, what do you like? For example, if I had steak, potato salad, what kind of wine pairs with that?
Well, so a lot of time, a couple things to say there. The reason I think that we talk about red wine and steak so much is actually that the tannins in something like a red wine, that the feeling that kind of dries out your teeth when you drink a wine, those are called tannins, that can really help kind of interact with salt. So it's not necessarily the meat itself. It's more things like salts or seasonings or sauces that kind of create the pairing sort of interaction there. So the reason that we would say maybe a red wine, a big structured red wine might be better with a steak is because of the tannins in red wine. So yeah, with a steak, it's usually something like a red wine. But I think there's we play around with this stuff a lot. It's not always, this chicken and fish has to be white, steak has to be red kind of a thing. I mean, we if you're having a steak, but it's a really mushroom-based sauce or something like that, or a really more umami kind of thing, you might want to go for a Pinot Noir, which is a lighter red wine, as opposed to a Cabernet, which is a bigger red wine. So there's a lot of
even makes
there.
up these pairings? I mean, if I want white wine with something that they say doesn't go with the pairing, who are they to say?
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean,
I never understood that whole pairing this wine with this dish, and
it's the thing is that it's a lot more about structure than flavors.
Structure of the wine.
Yeah, and when we talk about structure, we mean things like acid or sugar or tannin or body. So it's much less, this wine tastes like cherries. This dish has cherries in it. Those go together. It's much more a structural thing. But it just kind of, I think it just comes, there are two things. It kind of comes from trial and error and people just saying that they really like things and trying different things. And then there's the idea that what grows together goes together. So if you're having a food, like Spanish, we talk about like Spanish olives or Spanish ham, maybe going with a Spanish red wine kind of a thing. The idea is that if it is from the same region, what grows together goes together. Okay. And then the other thing is that there are just kind of tried and true ideas. So steak and red wine is one, but another great one is champagne and fried chicken. And it's like all of in the kind of wine community, like wine people that I talk to, that's the like number one. Yeah, if you're having a nice bottle of champagne, what you do is you go out and get a bucket of KFC. And it's just because the fat and oil and kind of crunch of the fried chicken, the champagne just cuts right through
the salt
and it's all like kind of a structural pairing though. So that's a really good one. What are some of our other ones? I feel like we've stumbled upon some good things in the past, but I don't know. I did say champagne and breakfast actually. Right. Like an omelet and champagne I think has been kind of good in the past. Orange wine and like roast chicken is like a thing that I like. Orange wine or like orange wine's kind of like rosé, it's kind of between white and red, and that and chicken can be really great because sometimes like red wine's a bit too much for chicken, white wine's not quite enough. So there's a lot of fun to be had with pairing wines.
All right. We're gonna go to break, and after this we'll come back and we'll sip on some wine.
Sure.
Awesome. We'll be right back after this.
Right back.
Welcome back to the Tuck and Tuck Show. Today's guest is brought to you by the Arb at Tappan Square.
All right, we're back on the Tuck and Tuck Show with Joe Waltzer and Eastman Presser. Joe is the owner of Black River, and we're here to test some wine out because we have an expert with us. Back in my day, they were known as winos, but hey, now they got the titles.
Just about, yeah.
He gets paid for his.
You gave us glasses during the break. What kind of when you use a certain type of glass, does that make a difference with the wine at all? Some people say the glass makes a difference too.
I think that just having a glass makes a difference. Like being able to have quite a bit of room to smell, I think does make a difference. Okay. Being able to get the nose in there and smell it. It's a little different than drinking out of a shot glass or something that's small. So, but just in terms of different shapes and stuff, it's kind of like pairing, like we were talking about, drinking out of what you want to drink out of.
Right.
But I think that these work a little bit better than, I don't know, Dixie cups or something. It's kind of nice.
So what did you bring us to try today?
So these are two wines that we'll try that are from Italy. So these are both by the winemaker Attilia, and there's a white and a red. So the first one is a white, and this is the Trebbiano d'Abruzzo, and I'll explain a bit about what that means. So Trebbiano is a grape.
And all these are available at Black River.
Yeah, so these two are available at Black River. They're actually, Joe, tell me I would say some of the more popular wines at Black River. These two, they're quite nice, and so
and they come in a liter as well. It's popular because
that's kind of an interesting thing about these, that they're a liter. Most wine bottles are like a 750, whereas these are a liter, so they're slightly larger. But so these are both from Italy, from the region of Abruzzo, on the eastern coast of Italy, and the grape is called Trebbiano. So the full name of the wine is Trebbiano d'Abruzzo, or Trebbiano from Abruzzo. So it's a pretty, I mean, you guys tell me what you think, but it's a pretty like kind of crisp, neutral, clean, fairly light style of white wine.
Okay, so when you look at it, and it's supposed to stay up on the glass and roll down and all this other stuff. I'm trying to get sophisticated about my wine.
Yeah, I would say that the whole legs thing,
whole body
I don't
and the
really
legs.
I don't take a lot of stock in the whole leg stuff. I don't really, looking at a wine, I don't really get much from just looking at it. But I mean, I do value the, swirling and smelling can kind of help you.
That's nice. I like that.
It is pretty good. It's pretty light. Like you said, light, crisp. It's
dry, but not real dry. But
Not too sweet.
Yeah, because if it's real dry, I just something, man. I got to have a little sugar in mine.
That's quite enjoyable.
Yeah, I think this one maybe has just a touch of kind of residual sugar. It's definitely, I would call it dry, but it's not like super dry.
Like a Merlot or something like that.
Sure,
Merlot's
kind of that
severe
same
like this.
level of dryness, yeah.
Now you said these are from Italy, but doesn't a lot of wine come from France? Isn't that the main producer of wine?
France and Italy kind of go back and forth as to who's producing the most wine year on year. It's kind of neck and neck for both of them. What's unique about Italy is that Italy's one of the only countries in the world where they can produce wine in every region of Italy, from the top of Italy to the bottom. Everywhere in Italy produces wine.
Now, does each region have a specific type of grape, or
kind of
one sweeter, one?
Typically, the climate of like maybe the north of Italy is quite different than the climate in the south, and what grapes will grow well in a hotter climate is different than what grapes might grow well in a colder climate. But so these are both from central Italy. So Trebbiano and Montepulciano, these are the two grapes that these wines make. They're pretty standard for that region, and usually you'll find in a region in Italy, in a region in France, there will be some number of grapes that grow there that they kind of stick to. So you don't often see like, Merlot in the south of Italy. Like that's just something that doesn't really work because that climate doesn't really work for that grape, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But yeah.
So being the owner of the Black River, what would you pair with this wine? And I know you guys say, well, it doesn't matter, but if I came in and was ordered this, what goes well with this type of wine?
I would drink this with most.
I drink this with anything.
But it would go great with like scallops or
seafood.
Like lighter seafood.
Yeah.
An Alfredo pasta.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it's got that acid. Like it's kind of acidic, like a little bit like apple juice or lemon juice. It kind of has a bit of a kind of bite to it. It's kind of mouth-watering, and that can kind of help with fat or cream. So if you have something like an Alfredo that's got that cream and that fat, that acid can kind of cut through it. Yeah.
Right.
That can be a nice interaction.
Do you serve any Alfredo at Black River?
We don't serve really much food right now, but that might be something we do. We're gonna.
But like a
That'd be good.
cheese,
Looking at
like
doing a pasta.
cheese has like
This would
a
go
cream.
great
Yeah.
with the cheese plate.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Should we move on?
Sure.
Try another one.
You did mention that earlier.
Yeah. So when you do your cheeses with this, I mean, sharp cheese, mellow, mild sharp cheese, or?
I think you could go a couple different ways in terms of this white wine with cheese. Again, it's kind of more about structure, and with cheese, you've got cream and fat. So I think kind of any wine that has a bit of acid will kind of go well with them. But something like a blue, I think would overpower this. Because it's not a very big, strong wine, and blue cheese is a really, really strong taste.
Pungent too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So with blue cheese, I might need something a bit bigger than this wine. But I think with a lot of cheeses, this would go just fine.
Yeah.
So what's the next? What are we moving on to now? What's the next one?
This is a Montepulciano d'Abruzzo. So this is from the same winemaker. Joe, you want to pour a little bit of that for the two of you over there? And so this is basically their red. Montepulciano is a pretty common grape from Abruzzo. And so this is a red wine that they've made in the same region.
Yeah.
So it's a bit, I guess, fruit forward, I would say. There's kind of a lot of black and red fruit on the nose and the
palate. Like
palate.
a little cherry in there.
Yeah, like cherry, blackberry, plum. There's a lot of kind of fruit things. What?
Cherry, you like eat those?
No, I'd say that's right. Yeah, it's all about what you're getting. You know? Yeah, nothing.
Don't encourage them.
I say there are no wrong answers really with tasting. Although there are things that are more helpful and less helpful. So cherry, that's a very helpful tasting note.
Yeah.
All four of us have tasted cherries. We know what that tastes like. If you said, "Oh, this tastes like the jam my grandmother made,"
Right.
we don't know what that.
With that, yeah.
So there's not right and wrong tasting notes, but there's helpful and less helpful, I would say.
All right.
This is good, but you know what this tastes like? It tastes like Snoop Dogg. The 19
tastes
crimes.
like Snoop Dogg.
He's got a new
the
wine.
19 crimes.
The 19
Oh,
crimes
okay,
list.
yeah. I'd say
It's good.
maybe a similar style of wine. Yeah.
It's a good wine. That 19 crimes, it ain't bad. I'm just saying, bro. That's what it tastes like.
He is my younger brother. Okay. No
Snoop Dogg makes some
no
pretty decent
sophistication
wine.
there.
Hey, it all depends on what you like.
Sure. Yeah.
Can you act sophisticated just for another 5 minutes?
For
man?
what? I'm drinking wine. You're supposed to have fun when you drink wine. That's the whole point of it. Sit back, have a drink.
Cheers.
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 There you go. Do you like the?
You finished it already, man. I see why you own a wine shop now. Now we know.
It's research. It's research.
Man,
He's doing research. Yeah.
I don't know if he even tasted it over there. Like
Should we-
he's drinking shots.
Should we try the last wine that we have? This is something special. So this is a Chateauneuf du Pape is the name of the wine. So this one, the first two that we had were from Italy. This is from southern France.
So this is the expensive one.
Oh, I mean, we
Price-wise.
don't. I mean, it's been in the cellar for a long time. So this is a 1999 Chateauneuf du Pape from Joe. What's the winemaker again? Domaine de la Moderay. So interestingly, in France, you almost never see the grape on the label. So like if you buy an American wine or a wine from South America or Australia or something like that from the New World, as in outside of Europe, you'll see Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, the name of the grape. In France, they almost never do that. What you'll see is what's called the appellation, so the kind of region that it's from. So this wine is from the area of Chateauneuf du Pape, and if you have to be kind of a wine person or know a little bit to know that Grenache
This looks
is the grape.
really heavy.
Yeah, it looks like a cloudier type
This
of
is
wine.
you can tell the difference.
Yeah, it looks like it's heavy.
I don't know if it's the aging.
It would the aging is what makes it kind of brown. It kind of loses color as it ages. Strangely, white wines gain color as they age. So like this wine, if you wouldn't do this, but if you aged it for 10 years, it would look almost kind of golden or brown. And red wines tend to look kind of brown when they age as well.
Now, cognac is a form of wine, right?
Cognac is a brandy, so it's a distilled wine.
So it wasn't.
It's also from grapes, but it's like a whiskey to beer kind of thing.
Okay.
So to make whiskey, you make beer and then you distill it, and to make cognac, you make wine and then you distill it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I always heard, cognac is just wine. I was like, but it's totally different. It's not even the same color.
It's a spirit. Yeah, it's distilled wine basically from a little bit further north in France. But this is from southeast France, from the region of Chateauneuf du Pape, which I believe means the Pope's house, the Pope's new house. I don't know. Anyway.
Now that doesn't taste like wine.
It doesn't taste like wine.
That tastes like it's
a little bit more fermented.
A little more getting towards the whiskey stage or the...
Interesting. Yeah. I don't want to make too much noise. It's very, very different.
That's been in the cellar.
Yeah. But I think it's still kicking.
It's kicking.
It's still got energy. It's really
it's totally happy.
Part of the beauty of having a friend who had a restaurant with a wonderful wine list a while ago is that we have
half
some
a glass
old
of
wines.
that, and I won't be walking out of here. Yeah, I can tell the difference.
Yeah,
it's a big difference.
Yeah, it's a pretty intense wine. But we've been trying some of these wines that have been in Joe's cellar for a while, and sometimes wine's a living thing. You know,
right.
It can kind of age and decline and
or go up
all
or down.
kinds of different things, and it's interesting to see how it evolves over time. So this is almost 20 years. That's kind of,
almost 20
something like that it's been kicking around. So it's interesting to see how these things change.
Yeah, that's great. All right, so we had some information for February 12th. You're going to have a paint and sip.
Yeah.
And the fundraisers for Doggy Do, correct?
For the Doggy Do, which is Oberlin event that supports the dogs. And we're doing a fundraiser where you can come and paint a silhouette of your dog and have a glass of wine while you're doing it if you wish.
But the wine price is not included in the
wine price
fundraiser
is not
price.
included. I believe it's $35, and that 100%.
That's for the Doggy Do,
goes
so.
towards the Doggy Do.
Right.
Okay, that sounds great. And do you have any other events say I wanted to have an event there? Would that be possible?
Sure, we could talk about that. We've done a fundraiser for the Cats organization, and we've done some birthday party kind of things, and had some other events.
Are those mostly after? You had to do that after hours, of course.
Yeah,
right?
we wouldn't do much when we were open usually, but we could do it on a day when we're not open or after hours.
So what days are you open?
Right now, it is just Thursday, Friday, Saturday. From
Okay.
noon till 8 on Thursday and noon to 9 on Friday and Saturday. We will be expanding the hours. We'll be adding a day, not too distant future, and then probably adding some hours into the evening, doing more of a cocktail program as well.
Okay.
In the near future.
Yeah, because I don't think a lot of people know that you're open. Because I used to go to, like he said, I used to go to Black River for breakfast all the time. And I
think I remember serving you actually when that.
probably
I feel like you would.
I
Yeah.
was,
Maybe
maybe
serve breakfast there. Yeah.
it was great. I mean, it
It's
was.
the best.
I enjoyed it. It was great.
Yeah.
I always went there
Yeah.
for. I like them better than except for the R because they're our sponsor. But they weren't there when you. They weren't there when you were there. So when you were there, it was very good breakfast. I enjoyed it all the time. So hopefully you can get back opening some more days and we'll come down and support the Black River because the wine is awesome.
Yeah. Let us know when you need employees or something.
Yeah.
We'll put a word out for you guys.
Yeah, because everybody's working short.
And you also have other spirits. It's not just wine. Let's get that clear.
serve alcohol as well.
Yeah.
Do you have any do you serve all top shelf everything? Crown,
Crown.
Hennessy, Jack
Crown is not
Daniels.
top
We
shelf.
got Hennessy. We don't have Crown yet. We're expanding our selection kind of as we go along.
We have a
We'll
Hennessy
be adding-
basketball.
We do have a Hennessy basketball.
I got us a Hennessy basketball.
Is this a basketball that says Hennessy on it?
That's
or-
correct.
Okay.
They partner with the NBA, so they have a lot
that
of
makes
branded.
sense. Yeah, I'm
Hennessy
with
stuff.
that.
But no, there's some great mezcal.
Yeah, we have a nice mezcal list and
yeah.
bourbons and scotches and
Quite a bit of stuff.
All right, that's great. You don't like talking on the microphone, do you?
not at all.
I can tell.
He gives me wine to drink. He lets me drink this
I'm glad you
99
brought Mr.
Chateauneuf,
Presser
and
along
then
with you.
I come in and talk for him. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Pay your way with the tasting, and you do the talking. Nothing wrong with that.
Hey, that
Most
makes-
people at the top, they don't want to be talked to. They just want, as long as we're making money, man. You just keep doing what you're doing.
Sure.
And I have got a baby now, so you got to really help him.
There you go.
all right. They also want to know where are you located at?
15 South Main Street,
15. Oh, that's easy to remember.
right downtown.
Right downtown. All right. Well, we're going to wrap this up. We'd like to thank you for coming out. You guys were fantastic. The wine was great.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate you coming out. I mean, and I'll come visit the Black River.
Yeah, we'll
Show.
definitely be up there.
Good.
We'll have a
gonna-
cheese
we're gonna-
plate and some wine.
We're gonna finish the rest of this
are
99
we?
Chateauneuf.
Even better.
Can't let it go to
Even
waste.
better.
Right? It's
Even
not gonna be
better.
good for much longer.
All right. Before we go, I'd like to thank our sponsor, the Arb, Prestige Detailing, and Oberlin Weekly.
Got it right for
Got it right.
Got it right for a change, didn't you? And that's after having wine.
Yeah, probably worked better that way.